Hi, Jim here. Um, I did a podcast yesterday about a number of things, but I mentioned I have a hive that is killing each other. They, it's not marauders or nothing like that. This hive is extremely healthy. I went in there yesterday also to investigate that hive, see what the heck is going on in there. And they were packed from end to end. So I added another brood box on top yesterday, and I swept all the dead bees and dying yesterday towards evening, and there was none. And here they are again, many, 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 and and they were still on that landing board fighting each other. And so every time I came out and checked today, they're on that landing board, killing each other, fighting and killing each other, flying away with the weakest one, whatever one they can hurt the most. So I did an experiment and I started to feed them. And they're up here fighting constantly with each other. And so I decided to do a little experiment and throw some sugar syrup on the landing board, in amongst all the killing. They were just killing each other. Um, so because my instincts were telling me that they had run out of food. And here's the story. This is something. I'm glad this podcast is gonna be around for decades. Maybe. I may get zero views for the next month, but the information is gonna be there. And so when I caught that swarm, it was a couple of months ago, almost. Well, I lost track. Oh yeah, yeah. So mid-April, and April, May, June. So almost 2 months. But the first full month, I fed them every day, 2 trays. They ate and ate and ate. Laid lots of eggs. The hive blew up. And then I stopped feeding them. And this is what I suspect. It's a suspicion, right? That, oh, I ain't got my veil. Oh well, hope I don't get buzzed. Um, I created thousands of lazy bees. Now this was the peak time of flowering. This is when they should have been out foraging. And I created girls that were dependent on not foraging. They were dependent on just going out, get right into the pantry, outside pantry, and taking it in and feeding everything, right? And packing the honey. And so it's been about a month and a half since I stopped feeding them. And I think they ate up all their storage because there's large groups of girls. I ain't gonna go out there and forage. There's food's coming, and there wasn't enough food for the foragers that were going out and bringing food in, for the ones who were not, the lazy bones. And so they slowly ran out of food in there. And what they instinctively decided to do was to start killing each other, to downsize the hive, so it's not so many bees. And so when I put that sugar syrup on that landing board, they were killing each other all on that landing board, fighting and killing, right? Flying away with whatever one was weakest the most, flying away with that weakest one, and then weakening another one, flying away with that one, dropping them out here. And everywhere I noticed I put that sugar syrup, the killing stopped. And all they did was focus on feeding. So I did that to the whole landing board, and all the fighting and killing stopped. Cold turkey. So I went ahead and put another feeding tray out, and they'll discover over time where that one is. They ran out of food, and they couldn't bring the lazy girls that were dependent on feeding on the exterior feeders. I'm just gonna wait, and they did. And so they just started killing each other to downsize the hive. Wasn't not enough resources, even though there's still plenty. Flowers everywhere. Flowers everywhere. I created a monster hive. So what I did was I took that hive that was up in this peach tree and I put it over there. and I had that brush right there in front of it last night, and I took it down around noon. And so there's still some that are orientating back to that. And just a little while ago, I went ahead and put a hive back up into the peach tree up in there. And they still want to go back in that hive. So whatever ones don't eventually reorientate to that white hive, they'll stay in that box. So at night, at around midnight, I'll take that box and I'll put it over there on the side of that hive and let them either walk in, depending on how many's in there, or I'll just dump them in the top. Yeah, they want to go back up there. This is where I remember being. I like it better up here. So, yeah. And I just put that up there probably about, I don't know, 15 minutes ago. Just to see how many girls will go back in there, and there's a lot. My hope is that the queen will stay in that one over there and they won't draw her out to go back up into that one. Well, time will tell. It's like I'm doing my own experiments all the time. And that's how discovery is made, right? I wonder, if I did this, what would happen? And that's what I do a lot. Every day. Something like that. Something like that, yeah. And so I'm going to stop feeding the other swarm, the second swarm that I caught. I'm going to have to stop feeding them. I think I've already fed them too long. I've created a bunch of lazy bones. They don't want to go out. It's coming. It's coming. I'll wait. In the meantime, they're running out of resources. And there you go. So yeah, no more fighting. They're just, all they can now focus on now is just eating that syrup that's everywhere. Well, at least I stopped the killing. So yeah, there's more and more girls starting to find that feeder over there, and eventually that will be full. And I don't expect I'll see any more murders. It's like they're just murdering each other. I'm sorry, Mary. There just ain't enough food for both of us. Survival of the fittest. So, yeah. And so as the bees inside, because they're likely doing that on the inside too. I'm sorry, you got the short straw. And so, because they're bringing out, they're still alive, the ones that are bringing out, but they must have battled them and weakened them, and okay, you're dying. I need to take you out. Yeah, it's called forced dying. They were forced to die. Become weak. And so yeah, they're just feeding like crazy over there. I'll be doggone. All that murdering has stopped cold turkey. It took actually about 5 minutes for them to start to realize that they've got a food source now. To really stop in total. Because there were some scragglers on the side that hadn't got the memo that there's a feeding tray over here. They're still working on the very edges, killing each other. But once they all got the memo, it stopped cold turkey. I've never heard of something like that. I've watched so many thousands of hours of bees and stories, and you know, there's some things that people just haven't experienced, or they have, and you know, they don't have a YouTube channel. Never made that information. That information never became public. It was just a personal, you know, experience in a personal situation. They go, oh, and then they changed then they figured it out, and problem solved. But they don't have a YouTube channel. You know, something like 92% of people who start a YouTube channel never even get monetized, let alone see a buck. And I'll probably be one of that 92%. I've never won a lottery. I've played it a few times. I never won anything because the odds were low, right? Same thing with a YouTube channel. You know, those folks, they'll start a YouTube channel and they'll put some stuff on there and they get 0 views. They go, oh, I guess it ain't for me. That's really not how YouTube works. YouTube is like a hobby, right? It's like a hobby. Sometimes you paint a nice painting, and sometimes you're going, oh, throw this one in the trash. Right? YouTubing. right? If people see YouTubing as a hobby, I might give them some more. If people see YouTubing as a hobby and nothing more, if folks who try to look at it as a way to make money, and they're not known, they're not some sort of well-known person, or they're just an average Joe. Uh, yeah, they're not going to likely get many views unless what they have to say is really unique, um, really entertaining, really exciting, and then it just catches on. And then your podcast can take off over time. Right? It needs to be something like unique, um, something uncommon, or something that's really informational, like just really important information, like news, like people who make those little clips of the CBS and ABC News. They'll make these little highlight clips, right, of that information, and then they'll say it, right? And there's a lot of YouTubers that's what they do. They just copy other people's work, and then take little clips, of that, whatever that is, and highlight that with some words of their own creation, and then post it every day, and that's their living, right? And those folks actually do get a lot of money, because sometimes I don't want to watch the whole news, I'm interested in the headlines. What's happening? What's really happening? And so mostly, oh yeah, they're out there feeding heavy now, and they're finding the feeder. There they go. Okay, that's what it was. Too many bees and not enough food, not enough workers, not enough girls coming out and going getting food. Too many girls sitting around waiting for it to come to them. I'm just going to sit here and do social media until the food comes. I'm going to go on Instagram. Wait for the food. Yeah, I created a monster. I suspect the same thing is going to happen on the other hives. So what I need to do is wean them off very slowly. So as the new girls hatches out, they'll say, "Yeah, we need to go out and get food," instead of coming right out and going to the feeding tray. Lazy bones. They'll go out and get the food. They'll do what bees are supposed to do: go out and forage. Yeah, I created a bunch of non-foraging foraging bees. Yeah, the hell that killing stopped. It's been going on for like a week. Every day, dead girls, more. Every day, fighting, every day. That hive was packed tight. So yesterday I thought, well, maybe they're downsizing because there's not enough room. So I added the other box. Didn't change a thing today. Same exact behavior. So it wasn't that it was a packed hive. It's a hive that's been spoiled. That I don't want to go forage. Oh, wait, right? Don't live and learn, right? I'm sure this information has been out there. Oh, there's so many bees going back up in that tree, in that box. They'll find their way. And they did last time. The other one was up 70 feet away or more, and they found their way. It only took 24 hours before they no longer spent the night in an empty box. Only a dozen the first night, and so then 0 the next night. And so I'm going to hang out here and convince these girls that they've got enough food and they can stop killing each other. Now they're not doing it anymore. I'll be doggone. Okay, it is what it is. Live and learn and discover, and we watch a bunch of information. Like we want to learn something, we get a bunch of certain information. We go, okay, I'm going to do that. So sometimes there's these subtle things that nobody ever even thinks about really focusing on. That actually is important. In the overall scheme of things, it's important. Don't train lazy bees. So don't create a situation where you end up with lazy bees. Or otherwise they'll become serial killers. Ted Bundy and shit. Jeffrey Dahmers, a bunch of Jeffrey Dahmers. Of course, he was a man eater, and so there it is. So five I have five functioning hives. They're all doing their orientation flights, which tells me they have a queen. Can't happen without a queen. Every time I've gone in and checked lately, there's capped brood, freshly capped brood in there, and I'm suspecting that when I was that double brood box, when it fell and collapsed to the ground, the frames came out and tens of thousands of bees filled the sky. I'm suspecting the queen didn't die in the process. Look at it. Yeah, so no more killing. They're just feeding now. There was constant fighting. The whole strip, they were fighting each other. Like two would be fighting one on that whole landing board, and now they're just focused on eating. I'll be doggone. Some of that syrup is dripped on that bottom board, and they're down there in a row eating that. Okay, so what it's done is it's redirected their pattern of thought. Like, oh, maybe we do have enough food here. Let's stop killing. All right, so you're gonna survive today. We'll see what happens tomorrow. So I've got another feeder. So I got a feeder on the hive that I transferred from up there. I put a feeder on there, so that's starting to fill up. So they're starting to know that it's there. There's a feeder over here starting to fill up. So now they're getting the memo on that one. Yeah, there was just too many bees in there, and not enough foragers. Too many girls not doing their job, going out and getting food. Well, now I know, right? It's like you do something and you don't know the future because you don't know that information. You're not aware of that. What hurts is when they're big ones that fall on my head. Yeah. All right. Who changed? All right. The colors the colors have changed in the air. Oh, how come the lighting's changed? Some of those peaches where they fall from up there, yeah, it's like getting punched in the head. Well, because it is. Battles the neurons and the synapses. So I'm going to continue to drop some syrup on that board until they all get the memo. I think I'm going to go ahead and throw another one over here on the other side. Just to get that hive calmed down and stop killing each other. I went on the internet, man, AI. I was given exactly what I was watching and witnessing. Not one bit of information. Because AI is just human knowledge, accumulative human knowledge. Since the beginning of our time. Anything that was recorded, discovered, right? That's AI, right? AI World Library. And I ask every possible question I could think of. Why are my bees attacking each other on the landing board and even on the inside? Just attacking each other. Oh, it's the marauders. No, this beehive's too hot. This beehive was, I say, my beehive is packed with original bees. Why? AI had no clue. AI World Library had no clue. No matter how I phrased my question, I got the wrong answer. And I knew it was the wrong answer. Every time AI would give me these answers, I knew it was wrong because it didn't match what I was witnessing. And so maybe, I don't know how to give AI this information. I don't know. So this is the only way. Is me putting this personal discovery on YouTube. That's the only way. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to keep doing this for a while until they all get the memo that they now have food. And it's over here. It's over here, girls. Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it. Come and get it. There you go. Yeah, all the murdering has stopped. Look at that. I'll be doggone. The murdering. You all get to live another day. Hey, hey, hey. Feed on. And that was the solution to the problem. I never would have figured that out. I never would have figured that out without your help. Oh, shoot. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh. Yeah, look at that. It's just crazy. More and more out there feeding. So once I put another feeder on your left there, those are all going to shift. All that mass is going to shift to those feeders. So that was the problem. Starvation is if they're in a girth. This is no girth. There's flowers everywhere. This is no girth. So, oh my gosh, it's building up even more. I'm gonna take these sliders out, open up that entrance all the way. Excuse me, girls. I'm gonna put another feeder over here. Oh my gosh. Well, I'm glad I figured it out. You know, you go through life and you're trying to figure out why something is, and then you figure it out and you go, I'll be doggone. That was so simple. Problem solved. Easy peasy, it was so easy. It's like, you know, knowledge is power, and ignorance just leaves us bliss. All that murdering has come to a dead still. I'll be doggone. Look at that. It has stopped. Shoot. It's kind of like my original hive. This original hive over there. In January, around the 1st of January, I do a lot of stuff 12 months out of the year in my garage. Winter, doesn't matter. I'm always out there doing something, building something, constructing something, repairing something. And around the 1st of January, all of a sudden, hundreds of girls started buzzing around my body. Ooh, landing on me, bouncing off me, tapping me and flying off, and tapping me and flying off. Just hitting me. No stinging, didn't get no stings. I didn't get no stings until I started cutting mints. About a month ago, I was cutting mints. Gonna make some mint tea, you know. There were some bees in there. I said, they'll fly away. Packing in my left hand, snip, packing. Well, one must have got pinched. I pinched her. She flew out and stung me immediately. She was pissed off at me. And so I got another one. Oh yeah, I got another one that climbed up my leg when the hives collapsed. And I squished her a little bit, and she stung. So everything, anytime I get stung, I try to figure out why I got stung. Not that I got stung. It's like, because it's me. It's something that I'm doing, right? And I just don't repeat those things. And the odds of me getting stung goes down and down and down. Right? Don't pick mints when the mints are full of bees. You might pinch one. Yeah, I just thought they'd fly away. Oh well. Ignorance. And so, yeah, I mean, if someone was to look at this nuke up here, they'd think it's a baited nuke, and a hive is flown in it. There's so many hundreds of girls orientating in front of it. They'll get the memo. Okay, well, that's kind of the day. All these flowers over here opening, brand new ones opening right now as I'm talking. And there they are, right there. Go away. And so I instinctively go kind of like a little bit serious when I get a bee buzzing me without my veil. I've never had a girl just come out and sting me. 3 years I've been doing this. It's going to happen. You'd think it's just inevitable. That's the odds. I mean, do something long enough that where there's a risk of something. It's just a matter of time before you get in that accident. And so far, never. Never. Just buzzing me. Something a little too aggressive. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that landing board now. They were starving. They were starving. I'll be doggone. It's still kind of the peak of flowering and they're starving. Lazy girls. That's what it was. They ran out of food in the hive. Damn. That means that one right there next to them, that's going to happen the same thing. So I'm going to have to slowly wean them. I'm going to have to slowly wean them off that sugar syrup. Don't just take it away like I did this one. One day I just said, okay, you're going to, got to wean them. Let them slowly get the memo. I'll be doggone. You know what? I'm sure a lot of beekeepers, professional beekeepers know that, but they don't talk about it. Not enough to where people get it or something, right? Yeah. They might say something like, yeah, feed them for 2 weeks when you catch them, and then stop feeding them. And they don't say why. They don't give the details of like, you know, because for me, I've fed them for months straight, and to build up comb and build up resources. Like this one over here, same thing. I fed this one for months, months and months, and this didn't happen, right? This didn't happen. And I fed that, well, that one actually has a stock full of honey. And I've done that many times before with my hives. Fed them for months just to get a stock of resources in there. And then I would take it away, and they would just go out and forage. I whacked the girl in the hair. They just go out and start foraging when there was no more outside feeding going on. Instinctively, not this hive. This hive is different. It's a Frankenstein. Yeah, all those dead girls, dead and dying, starving. We're not even close to a dearth yet. These things are flowering everywhere. Densely. I created a monster hive, oh well. Live and learn. So, yeah, no more killing. Oh shoot. That's kind of like when I was saying, so in January 1st, those bees were swarming in the garage. Also, it took me about 4 days to realize what was happening. I had no idea what that body language meant. What are you girls, what is it? Stay off of me, stop bouncing on, what is, 4 days that went on. And in those 4 days I was throwing baited nukes out everywhere thinking, oh, maybe it has been a warm winter, maybe they're gonna, you know, do a split or something. And so I just had to go with what I know, like we all do. And so that's what I did. I was baiting nukes and putting them all over, about 11 or 12 of them out. And it didn't change anything. I'm going, and it took that 4th day for me to go, God damn, I got this. Put that food out there. Within minutes, actually, all that stopped and never seen it again. Never seen it again. Because I knew that, okay, I'm going to feed you enough to where you can get a nice pantry build up, and that won't happen anymore, and it didn't. Cool stuff, right? That landing board is totally packed. Totally packed. Where's the more food? I'm lazy. I'm not a forager. I'm a outside landing board feeder. I only feed off landing boards. From my birth, that's the only place I've ever fed was on a landing board. That's true. A lot of those girls, that's the only place they've ever fed. They've never gone out and foraged. They don't even know what that means because I took it from them. I robbed it from them by leaving those feeders out too long. Trying to build up the comb, trying to so that they would build up enough honey in there so that they felt safe. But that hive just couldn't adapt to going out and foraging. Not enough. They just couldn't make that adjustment back to nature. So I'm going to put another feeder there and give them the opportunity to rebuild their storage in there. Now they've got another brood box. I've got 5 frames. I need to go build some more. I'm out of frames. All the frames I had made, they're all permanently occupied. So I need to go make some more frames today. 5 is enough to get them started. But when I transfer that other hive, that's going to into a brood. I'm gonna have to have another 5. So I need to make at least 10 frames just to satisfy the bees that I already have and the boxes. And if I catch another swarm, which will give me 6 hives, well, I don't have any frames at all for those. So I'll probably go in there and make, I don't know, 20 or 30 frames, and that way I have some backup frames or whatever. I made a bunch of super frames, but I ended up having to use those in the brood boxes. And what this one did, and so I put a super frame, smaller ones, in the brood box here with this first one I got. And what they did is they went and made it into a standard brood box frame. They kept going to the bottom and turned it into a brood box frame without a full frame. It's just like the honey hanging underneath the. So it's got honeycomb hanging underneath the bottom strip of wood, right? And they just continued it on to close about an inch or so from the bottom. And so now it's a brood frame. Yeah. And so and that's okay. Actually, it's okay to take and just make super frames and throw them into a brood box, and it'll become a brood frame. You don't, but you really don't. I don't know how that would work in extracting honey. You just leave it for that. You just leave that frame as, for them to store honey in or make brood in, and knowing that that's not the frame you're going to use to put in your supers or in your other brood boxes to extract honey from. That's just going to be their storage frame or brood making frame. I think I made like about 8 of those. And I'm using them right now. They're in these, because I ran out of frames. I had to use all my super frames in that one over there too. The swarm I just got the other day. And so, I'll be doggone, man. Live and learn. And that's the thing about nature. Just when we think we think we know something about something, we go, what? What just happened? Totally unexpected. Right? Like watching a bee jump in the water, flip over, and put his head up above the water and bury his wings in the water and start taking a bath. Yeah. Now, some of these bees might be angry as they're bringing out, because they're still bringing out ones from the inside. The girls on the outside, they got it. There's no more killing. But the ones on the inside, maybe they haven't got the memo yet. And they're still fighting on the inside, trying to downsize. But as these girls out here start bringing in that food and start filling up the pantry, all that pressure and tension will subside and they'll stop killing each other inside and out. All right, just thought I'd drop this line. All right, please subscribe, thumbs up, ring the bell, leave a comment, click the like, and hopefully this won't be another podcast that gets 0. Yeah, don't let that stuff bother. People who want to do podcasts, there's been times I've got 20, 30,000 on a podcast because people were specifically interested in that specific thing that I was saying. And so what's really important, more than anything, people who want to do podcasts is just keep throwing them out there when you feel like it. Just throw them out there, whatever content. They don't need to be perfect. You know, I misspeak. I say things out of context sometimes. I look at the video, I say, people are smart enough. They'll get that. They'll know what I mean. You know, I don't need to hold people's hands. You know, unless they have an IQ of 50 or something. And so I don't mind misspeaking. You know, as long as the flow is there, the concept is there, because that matters more than anything. What matters more than anything is us getting the concept of something, not that somebody's saying something or trying to teach us something or something. It's about passing all the other mental stuff and just focusing on the content and the conceptualization of the content and where it's leading and where it can lead to. That's what I do. I've done that since I was a child. I think all people with dyslexia do that. Don't care about the words, names, just the concept. Oh, and then we can go with it, and then be our own creator, whatever that is, our own creator, right? And do it in a way that we can understand. Oh, feed them one more time. Okay, please subscribe, thumbs up, and you have a good day now. You hear? I dream of genius still. Yeah.